Noctropolis is a point-and-click adventure game released by EA in 1994, released in a time where media based on comic books were experiencing a boost in popularity, and the public perception of EA had yet to devolve into this. If you're familiar with comics, especially older ones, then much of this game will feel very familiar. There's a juvenile quality to the storytelling at play here that doesn't really do justice to how great comic books can be, but it does maintain a strong sense of fun, despite dealing with some rather dark subject matter. Peter Gray is a guy that works in a used bookstore and is sort of perpetually depressed and spends most of his time reading comics, specifically a series called Darkshire. This is all the information we're given about Peter, so if you're hoping to relate to him or learn about what he's like, go fuck yourself. Peter's life is on the verge of collapse when a strange little girl shows up to his shop speaking in riddles. Apparently he's won a I Want to Be Darkshire sweepstakes and is gifted a special comic and 2 tokens. He reads the comic and learns the conclusion of his favorite series, which has Darkshire retiring and leaving behind his partner Stiletto, after she confesses her love for him. The token activates a portal to Noctropolis, the fictional city that Darkshire looks after. I don't want to get into the minutia of did he know this was a literal thing where he would physically become that guy? Or did he see a flyer that said, I want to be Darkshire, and he's like, I want to be Darkshire. This will make me Darkshire if I win this. I don't. Once in Noctropolis, a city plunged in eternal darkness because of a cataclysmic volcano eruption, Peter quickly becomes entangled in the plans of Darkshire's rogues gallery, and with Darkshire missing, is forced to take up the job himself. It's about there that the logic of this started routinely distracting me. While it is most certainly an interesting environment, and it's cool to be a superhero, why is Peter so ready and willing to endanger his life by literally replacing a superhero? And why is he immediately qualified for this position? Why does he know how to fight? He was a lonely, divorced guy in a shitty bookstore. What kind of fights is he getting in? Once Peter realizes he's in Noctropolis, he starts telling people he's Darkshire. He meets up with the real Darkshire's former allies, Father Desmond, a priest that trains orphans to fight crime, and Stiletto, a femme fatale and Darkshire's spurned partner, still in pieces after his departure. Together they face each of the villains while trying to unravel a deeper mystery involving a towering skyscraper being erected by a shadowy corporation. Don't go into it thinking you'll be blown away by the story. That's not to say that it isn't fun in a goofy, silly way. The extended blooper reel is a testament to how fun it must have been to shoot the FMV for this.
You'll have to discuss that with the estate's attorney, Martin Sphincter.
There are several moments in the game that sort of shocked me. Well, not directly, more like it made me think, whoa, this would upset somebody that cares about things like this. One of the villains featured in Noctropolis is a woman named Succubus, and her name is not really an exaggeration. She literally fulfills her role as a succubus by sleeping with men and then killing them. Though it is explained that she is technically a demon that is in possession of one of Father Desmond's church goers, people that go to his church. She is the first of the... what is the word for that? She is the first of the villains that Darkshire faces. So there's a moment where she gets the drop on him and he ends up knocked out in her lair. She climbs on top of him and bites his neck. Peter/Darkshire wakes up sometime later, and it didn't hit me that what was implied here was a rape, but while tracking the succubus down, you find her journal where she apparently wrote down her thoughts about what occurred probably 15-20 minutes ago. Yeah, that's actually kind of adorable. In it, she outlines her plan to be reborn as a new person by getting her host body pregnant. It was a simple matter to rape him and take his seed. It's simply rape. It's so simple. You know what? Once the demon is exorcised from the woman, she's no longer relevant to the story, but I mean, she's pregnant. She got a baby in her. You think Darkshire gives a fuck? Also, you see a demon later on that sort of looks like the same one and it's holding a baby. Is that the baby? It's been a couple hours. I don't know. I threw a spider egg sack at it and both of them died, so what are you gonna do? There are other lines in here that just struck me as being surprisingly off color. even ones uttered by our heroes. Having been asked about the new skyscraper being built, Stiletto remarks that it would attract suicidal crackpots. I mean, sure, if you want to whittle down a serious mental health issue to just being a crackpot. I don't know how I feel about Stiletto as a character. Sure, she is strong and resourceful, but all too often her plan is to distract or coerce somebody using her feminine wiles.
You just have to know what motivates scum like that. It's obvious that you don't have the right equipment. Hello, I'm looking for Leon.
That's me. Yeah. I'm Leon.
I can't fucking believe this shit. I get all dressed up, I do all this training. And for what? I mean, how do you think that makes me look? Noctropolis, in every sense, is very old school, but it did seek to remedy the use of dumb cursors, meaning cycling through different actions before clicking on something. Its solution was a triangular menu that let you select from look, get, open, move, use, and go to. And just like with dumb cursors, the semantics of picking the correct one can be a headache. Open. Oh, I rather think it can. Using an item is sort of oversimplified, in that all that is required of you is to be in the correct room. Just use an item and Peter does the rest of the work. If it weren't for that, it probably would have taken several more hours to complete this game. I wouldn't have been able to put together Peter's plans half the time. Okay, I guess we're gonna distract this dog with some meat. Alright, and now we'll... This is actually an enhanced version, ported by Night Dive Studios, that removes instances where you can screw yourself over by forgetting an item, and the game can't be completed. Save often though, because you can die, and although it's easy to spot when you will from a mile away, the descriptions of your death are amazing and worth the read. Noctropolis took me about 6 hours to complete, and then I realized that all the footage I captured was useless. So, having already finished it, my second playthrough was over in half that time, which is why all this footage makes me look much more competent at these games than I really am. I just don't have a lot. I just don't have a lot going for me. Noctropolis is a great looking game. The background environments are intricately drawn and truly feel like a comic book. There's some animation sprinkled in and a lot of live action segments. It's sort of a soup of different visual styles, but all of them combine to make something really nostalgic and pleasant. I do think it was a questionable decision making the character models FMV because they do look really stiff. The music reminds me a great deal of Gabriel Knight with its awkwardly cheerful MIDI soundtrack. It's pretty much guaranteed that if a game includes live action, the acting is probably low grade, and I think this game is no exception. But it also gets a free pass, as it willfully embraces a campy comic book vibe. Computer Gaming World was not a fan of this game, but took time to praise some of the performances, while suggesting that the actresses featured in the game that were willing to show more skin than the others showed less skill in acting, making a focus to put down Hope Marie Carlton, the actress and Playboy model who played Stiletto. The author even makes some disparaging remarks about her body, saying she sports an obvious pair of implants. Whoa, way to be an asshole. Forget that guy. Dance, dance, you beautiful angel. Those are pretty fake. Noctropolis is a nice dose of classic adventure, if that's what you're after. It's lighthearted no matter how much it tries to pander to adults with violence and nudity. It has a fun but transparently thin plot, and it's easy enough to control and comprehend. Plus, it's not bad to look at, if you like looking at things that are by all modern standards bad to look at. Reflecting on it now, I almost wish it was longer, or that this was part of a series, because it did feel like a lived-in and storied world, and that's something to be proud of. It's not original, but it's well thought out and enjoyable. You know, it's kind of like if Batman Forever was rated R. I don't know who was put down more by that statement.